Hi, I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor.
I'm Pauline Mosley. Welcome.
And today we have a great program. If you read the news, you read about murders, corruption, all these disgusting behaviors by people all over the world. So today we're going to have a feel-good interview.
Wonderful.
We're interviewing somebody who you could say is a living saint. Somebody who's sort of, it's Mother Teresa, we know, was a living saint. And Matt Gullotta is our local version of a living saint. He set up a foundation, the Gullotta Foundation, that does a lot of good work around the county. And welcome, Matt. And sorry if I did not give you the proper introduction.
No,
because when I say you're a living saint, it's not an exaggeration. It's you really have done so much good. So maybe you could tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So thank you for having me on today, and it's nice to it's nice to have leaders in the community acknowledge nonprofits, because it's not that easy to run a nonprofit. So my name is Matthew Gullotta. I was born in Sleepy Hollow, and we grew up in Sleepy Hollow, and now I live in Austin. We started the Gullotta House in 2015 in June. So we're celebrating our 10 years.
Congratulations.
This year, which went by really fast. And our main goal at Gullotta House is to help families in Westchester County who are having a hardship. And it doesn't matter what your income level is. It matters what is your hardship today, now. Income is not a factor.
You know, it's interesting because a couple of years ago, I was bicycling around the town, and I was bicycling at the lower income housing complex in Greenburgh, the Greenburgh Housing Authority. And I just happened to stop my bicycle, and I was talking to a woman. I said, "Oh, is there any problems that you have?" And she said, "Oh yeah, my daughter can't get out of the second floor because she's wheelchair confined." And then I said, "Oh, are you doing anything about it?" He said, "No, I don't have any money." So I called Matt, and within 24 hours, he got her a stair lift, and it didn't cost her a penny. And you know, I basically just called Matt, and you know, I thought that maybe he'd donate towards the stair lift,
right.
but you got a brand new one. And you want to mention a little bit about that experience?
That's amazing.
So with having a nonprofit, so I'm legally disabled as of 2001, right, New York State. And you know, I always say, everybody, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. And when Paul called, it touches me because, you know, if someone is not independent, meaning they're restricted, they can't go upstairs, they're in a wheelchair, they're using a cane, whatever it may be, they can't use their legs, but their independence is gone.
Right.
And I'm like, if we can change that on a one family, one case basis, little bit, we were going to make a difference. So when Paul called, we were already doing this in Westchester County, and we have a strong relationship with Austin Pharmaceutical. And all we have to do is call them, and they'll send somebody over there. They're licensed, they're insured, it's brand new. This is what they do. And they went over there, and since they got a relationship, they went over there pretty quickly.
Yes, 24 hours.
They measured, right, because you got to measure everything.
Goodness.
They measured it, and I was like, Paul, it's going to happen. And even I was shocked how quick. And I was there when they just finished. Paul was there. And one of the former Greenburgh water department persons, he's retired, and he volunteers with Gullotta House. So he was there, kind of like a Greenburgh thing. I wanted it to be like special. The smile on the face of the father who had to carry her up the stairs, right?
Imagine, oh my
the
God.
woman who's now has a chairlift that can go up the stairs.
Oh my
Just people have to understand, it's not, if you get a hug sometimes, and people say bless you, or God bless you, or you know, thank you so much. But the facial expression, seeing someone who is dismal, and that light that shines up, that they're like free.
They're free.
And their parent, and it's just so much gentle environment in the household, right? And all because he was riding a bike, he was talking to somebody, and he called me, and it's just like, and people donate because that's how it works,
Right,
unfortunately,
right.
and we're able to make that happen, and it's truly a blessing to see this.
Yeah, and you changed her life
Changed our life.
for
Family's
years,
life, everybody's life has
so,
been
right.
impacted by that.
Have people want to get in contact with the Gullotta Foundation, or if they want to make a
Wow.
donation, how do they do that?
So they would go to gullottahouse.org, and they can make a donation if they choose. They can volunteer. Sometimes volunteering is just as good as making a donation. We do meals, and we do also checks, PayPal, and debit credit cards. We expanded everything to make it easy on individuals. But we give out meals. So sometimes it's dollar for dollar. I partner with different organizations too, myself. And during COVID, we did 150,000 meals documented.
Wow.
After 150, we kind of like
oh
just,
my
I was kind of
goodness.
feeling bad, like, why am I keeping track of all these meals? In the beginning, like, oh my God,
right.
no, for me, so I'll take blame. But after a while, I was like, I'm not keeping track of this no more. This is a bad thing. But we did 150,000 meals documented, 8 locations, 7 days a week for a year and a half, all volunteers. I look back on it, even though we had 40 volunteers, three volunteers sometimes. Mount Kisco, we did 3,000 meals in the parking lot, 3,000 in one day. All around here, the community center over here, Theodore Young Center, we were there.
Right.
It's just an amazing time. It's past now, but to think of all the people that gave up their free time to come out to help other people, and a lot of it, they were helping us. They didn't even know that. They were in despair, but when they came to us,
Right.
we got to like talk, and a lot of people weren't even talking, right? You had to stay away. So we had our masks on. We're talking to our volunteers, and then we get to see the kids, the smiles on the chicken fingers and French fries, macaroni and cheese, like little things that you don't think. But the parents weren't able to go shopping. They couldn't go out, and they got a nice hot meal. To this day, I look back, I'm just like, it was definitely a higher intervention that made everybody do this.
So how did you get into
Yeah,
this?
I was just going to ask the same question.
How did you get into this? I mean,
So,
it's phenomenal.
you know, it's in Gullotta House, the website, but it comes down to this. My mother, in 1974, we had a major fire in Terrytown. And in that fire, no one got hurt, thank God. But the building, we had 5 apartments with 3 other families, and it was gone, gutted. So everybody was okay, but we lost everything. My mom and dad, we lost everything, right? So my mother, when it was a snowstorm, went to DSS, Department of Social Services in Austin. And, you know, when you look at these organizations, like, oh, okay, it's going to help. Unfortunately for my mother, when she went there in the snow, in the bus, with all of us, she was turned away. It was like $100 she made more than last year. So the W-2s said, you made this much. And then unfortunately, I do say unfortunately, because back then in 1974, and even today, when I experienced in 2007, when we had all our injuries, if you don't make below that certain amount, there is nothing they can do. It's really nothing they can do. So they turned my mother away. And she went back, and she lost her shoe in the snow, and she had to get a lady was eating a sandwich, and they gave her the sandwich bag. It's true, like so sad, and they didn't give her nothing. So you know, so she had a little resentment with that, and we're all about giving and helping. The community was phenomenal. The community, to this day, my mother tells me all about the different stores and the ice cream parlor that gave a cake to my sister for her birthday, the shoe person, Tony Shoes. I mean, so many Woolworths, so many people helped. Red Cross helped too. But what I found out is that if you make more than a certain amount of money, and you show that on your W-2s, you bring it to them, if it's over, it's done. So I said, I don't like that. What do I got to do? And I said, you know what? I was going to keep it small. I was a Rotarian, and I grabbed some Rotarian friends and some other friends, and I said, I think this is wrong, and I want to help people on their hardship, not how much they earn. If something happened 2 days ago and they're a millionaire, I don't care if they were a millionaire 2 days ago. They had a fire or cancer or something crazy happened in the house. that it's disrupted the whole house. The person living behind the gas station, which happens a lot around here, I'm telling you, it does. And 3 weeks, they had a job 3 months ago, but a medical or something happened, and now they're behind a gas station behind a garage. So I wanted to make it so it's easy, very transparent. I use my phone, and I get it. Like on Friday at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, some of these organizations, they don't pick up the phone, or it goes to Monday. It's just how it is.
Right.
And I give them a lot of credit, because whatever their staffing is, or whatever emotional stuff they have to deal with every day, because it is emotional. People really don't understand. Every day you're picking up people calling you with sad stories that takes a toll on you. So to get some good stories and get some out there to have people smile and hug you or whatever really is beneficial.
Right. And when people are stressed out, they're trying to get help, and you're dealing with the government, and sometimes you call on a Friday at 5:05 and nobody answers the phone. It's very, very stressful. So it's sort of nice to have neighbors who really care, and you're not dealing with bureaucracy. What is the budget of the Gullotta house?
So the first 5 years, our budget was like $42,000, $45,000. It was just a group of people. I was just like, okay, my friend's not. COVID hit. Went from $42,000 to $312,000 in 1 year.
Wow.
1 year. And now it's roughly around $315,000.
And is it 315? Is it
That's
mainly
amazing.
private donations?
Majority is all grassroots. We're fortunate. COVID had its negative sides, and it was a very bad situation in Westchester County and all over. We were kind of fortunate that we thought of these hot meals, and the county executive, and he was there. I mean, I got to give it to him. I mean, he was there hand by hand, George Latimer, and handing out food. He could have just went for a picture, right? No. He was really handing out food. And really, all the representatives from the county that helped us, and local officials in each town, they stayed and handed out the food. So for me, we help everybody. But you know how nice that is? When people just stay, and I'm like, okay, are they going to leave? Pictures? No. And so I built up relationships. I'll tell you the truth. If you're going to give out food and help me and help people smile, I don't really care what letters behind your name. We're just going to help. We're just going to do it and help everybody, and let's do it.
Do you get grants from other not-for-foundations?
Yes. So Rotary is kind of like the first one. Rotary, there was like an impactful grant, $2,500, $5,000. We got some different Bronx, Pleasantville, Briarcliff. The road, because I was a Rotarian, so they kind of knew what I was doing, and then they loved the fact that I could include them in their town. But yes, in the county budget, we're up to now $55,000
From the county.
For Westchester County for food insecurity, giving food meals to residents directly, and we go to their houses. We go to their houses. We go to their apartments.
Amazing.
They can call. So let's just say at 7 o'clock at night, something happened. You have no food. You're with your children, or you're with your children. You can call at 7 o'clock. Now, if I can't reach there, I got relationships with different restaurants, so they'll give me a big discount. And if I can't drive there, they'll drop off the food to your door, just like a delivery, but you don't have to pay for anything.
That is great.
That's incredible.
Could you just give your phone number again?
Yes.
Wow.
So our number is 914-525-0744.
So there's no priority. So I'm sure you get a lot of requests.
Absolutely.
So does your staff prioritize it, or you
Yes.
help everybody?
So thank you, because
or
one of
how
the biggest
does that
things with
work?
Gullotta House I learned is one person can't do it, and it's not fun if one person does it. It's not fun.
Right.
So I said, let's do community advisors. So on the Gullotta House site, there's community advisors, 30 of them.
Okay.
So it's
30?
people that I
You said
vetted.
30?
30 that I vetted personally. So I vet them. And then they're in the community, and if something goes on in their town or village, they're very close by and they can go help, right? So the community advisors is huge. But what was the other question? I can't remember what you said.
My question is do you prioritize it? For instance, because I'm just thinking there's so many students right now that always come to me. They can't sometimes pay their tuition. Sometimes even students on campus, various campuses don't have food. And I'm just wondering, okay, so if I was to give them this as a resource, would they be helped right away, or is there like a timeline?
Yes.
Not everyone gets helped, like Paul, because it was Paul and called you with the lady. I mean, that was a a very high priority case. But these other cases, which are everyone has a need, but there's sometimes different degrees of need.
Thank you so let's clarify this.
Okay.
So
Yes, please.
So it doesn't really matter who calls me.
Okay.
And I don't really need to know, like on the phone, I'm like, I don't need to know a life story. If someone vetted or there's someone's in the town and they call us and they say, well, can we get a $50 gift card?
Right.
And, we need diapers right now, Matt, and 911 cares. They're not helping, right? We don't have that. We've got to wait a month. So I'm like, the biggest problem that we have right now in Westchester County is that there's so many organizations, and it's so sad. And I'll say it, it's sad. A lot of people don't know who to call. They just don't know who to call. I wish there was a way to implement everything. So on a resource page, I do have some, right? When someone calls, when my mother got turned away,
Right.
that stuck with me. So I said, at Gullotta House, we will never turn someone away. I said, if someone calls us, okay, they may need a lot of stuff. I said, but maybe a $25 gift card or a $50 gift card. And I tell them, I can't do it at this moment right now. Can you
Right.
wait till tomorrow or the next day? In that 2 days, we'll get it $25 or $50, and we can help. But we're a donation-based organization, unfortunately, right? There's a lot of food pantries, which we support, and I try to get the people. We have to talk about this, Paul, and people need to talk about it more. There is food insecurity in Westchester County.
There is.
The SNAP benefits are cut in half right now. Families are with the grocery store, with the amount of money they got to spend, they cannot buy what they could buy to support their family right now. And it's true, it's happening. So regardless of what everybody may think, this is a fact happening now. So food is a major, major, major issue with me. And I think, just to answer your question, if they need some food, we're going to get them something for that night. And if I can't, we're going to get it the next day, guaranteed. But it works on, like I said, donations.
Well, let me ask a question, because I set up like a Snow Angels program, so we have volunteers shoveling out people's driveways, seniors. And this past snowstorm, there were like 40 people that we were able to help. Wow. But there were maybe another 40 people who we weren't able to help because we didn't have the volunteers. So, if like everybody, a lot of the Gullotta House, a lot of it's word of mouth. And people who know you're able to help. But if as you get better known and people say, oh, this is really great. Let's say you have twice as many people, you may not be able to say immediately yes to everybody, or if it becomes over, like if people in your church, if all of a sudden 50 people say, oh, this is great, I'm going to ask for help, you might, is there a point where you may not be able to help everybody who...
Yeah, that's being realistic, Paul.
Yeah.
Right? That's being realistic. But I can tell you this right now. If that 50 people from that church or group home or family, senior citizens, or people that really need it and they need the food, we're going to get it for them, Paul.
Yeah.
In Yonkers, right? It's part of Westchester. There was a big fire. I'm sorry, no. The heat was turned off because of some kind of situations in Yonkers.
Right.
Mayor Spano gave a call. Yonkers helps our own. Go Yonkers. I had a family that lived in Yonkers. I had some representatives during COVID. We went to some establishments, some areas. Within 3-4 hours, we got a local restaurant on McLean Avenue delivering 300 meals for 2 days for those families. And then everybody started kicking in. You know what I'm saying? Like they know that, okay, we can do it. They can do it. They can. But I don't have to, unfortunately, I don't have to wait for anybody.
Right.
I see a situation, but I have to learn about it.
Right.
Right? If I see it on Facebook and some is intrusive, meaning like I don't want to let them, someone has to contact me.
Right.
I can't call everybody.
And also sometimes if you're not able to immediately help, and you keep trying, you may be lucky. Like this morning after, I posted something on the town website saying we have all these streets where we weren't able to help people. And I got 2 volunteers this morning that never responded before. So the thing is, sometimes if you're unable to help somebody immediately, you just have to keep trying, and eventually something positive will happen. Could you give us some other examples of people you helped that made you really very proud?
So it didn't make me proud. There was a little boy named Ethan, and We dealt with thousands of individuals on a one-to-one basis, but this individual had a rare disease, and he was 8 years old, 7 years old, and Ethan had very bad. It was a cancer, and he became like a known little star. Everybody's police department, chief of police for the day. His name was Ethan out of Terrytown. And Paul, doing his job, and I said I had a lot of surgeries, and I had to become humble. I had to become humble. And the little boy was in Maria Forest Hospital, and we all, whoever helped him or whoever was part of his life, the mother called, and it was like a movie. And I actually felt like it was going to be a magical ending, right? He's on the ventilator in the room. Looking down was the parents on a video, so everybody outside could see inside. And his mother picked him up, and they were playing all songs from famous Disney movies of inspiration. And Paul, I could not keep my eye dry. I could not keep my eyes dry. Everybody around were all crying, and because it just hit home. It just hit home like it can happen to anybody, and the support. And I'm talking like 10 minutes. Everybody's crying. Unfortunately or fortunately, he was in a lot of pain. And an hour and a half after everybody left, and we're singing into the hospital. We're singing into outside his room. His room was on the second floor. And an hour and a half later, he passed. Right? And that was the most emotional time for me, because I got to give him a fist bump on his birthday. He liked Spider-Man and Batman, and we had characters go to his house with a cake. That was it. A cake and characters, right? Everybody plays a part. People make donations. Sometimes they don't know exactly where they go. But I'm very transparent on Facebook. I have everything that we ever did.
Do you have a paid staff?
No. So at Gullotta House, we started 5 years. I took no salary. I kind of felt like I'm on Social Security Disability. My wife works, got a great job. And I was like, this is just me. I was like, I don't want to pay rent for somewhere, because I was like, that's giving out all this rent. There's more people we can help. Because we were in the beginning, any nonprofit, anybody tells you, it's hard to scrape up $50. It's hard.
Yeah.
So I just kept it. It's my phone. I pick it up at 10 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock in the morning. I pick up the phone. Now, what did you just say?
Is there anyone paid?
Oh, yeah. So for first 5 years, nobody. And then after 5 years with COVID, it became like a job. So I get $900 a month, and then I get taxed on that. With Social Security, Social Security knows, and with the right to work program, whatever. But it's still not that much. But I don't do it. We don't do it for the money.
Right.
I respect everybody's CEOs and everything they can bring to the table. For me, I just feel like the more we can give. So when someone calls up and they need that $50 or $25 or that large pizza pie, right? That's $15. I can do that.
Well, you're definitely the lowest paid not-for-profit chief executive in probably the country. And you definitely have a passion for helping people. So, even when you're saying $900, if you go to, if you're making donations to charities, and you find that the head of the group, the salary is $900 a month, nobody would say, oh, that's taking advantage. But let me ask you another question. You mentioned earlier on that you've had surgeries, you were the victim of a fire. Do you feel that you would have been as kind a person and as empathetic a person if you grew up wealthy and never had surgeries, never had setbacks in your life?
I thought about this, and I can honestly say no, Paul. For some reason, I don't know why, having 23 operations was not fun, and the depression that comes with that is intense. I'll just say that it's a battle. And I think the higher power, whatever everybody believes in, I do believe in a higher power, that through other people, they're making me have a more enjoyable day. It's kind of selfish. What they're going through is really helping me. And when my volunteers go out and help them, it helps them. It definitely does.
Well, this is so inspirational.
Very inspirational.
It's also inspirational because it makes you feel good about the human race.
Oh,
You know, you read
absolutely.
so much negativity, and you
Absolutely.
sort of think you start losing confidence in other people, and you know, and it's sort of nice to see people like
Like
you.
you.
We only have a couple minutes left. Is there any other interesting stories in like 3 minutes or something?
Yeah, and I always, not that I forget, but it's not done without volunteers. So all the volunteers and my board members and community advisors, thank you. Without them, that can't work. So we have to just say thank you, volunteers, very, very much. I think what we did, actually I did with you too, Paul. It was called, it was actually called Regain Your Independence. And people in wheelchairs, I had them come, we picked them up, and if they paratransit, and if they couldn't make it, we would try to bring them to the pools. And Greenburgh had a pool, and Osting had a pool. And it was called Regain Your Independence. It didn't work out as well as I liked because I forgot in the wintertime or winter months, people who have a disability or working on crutches or in a wheelchair or walking devices, I really didn't realize how unsafe they felt in their mind going outside to fall.
Yeah.
So even though it was a great way to get them in the pool and swim, and I gave them dinner.
This was an indoor,
Nice.
Yeah.
indoor pool.
Nice.
Not outdoor. Because when you
Very
said
nice.
swimming, I said, oh,
Very
indoor.
nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It was. I did it in here. We did it in Greenburgh a couple times and in Osting, but the not Osting, Greenburgh, and the thing is that that's a, I think what I've learned is how many people can come together, and like for the holidays, for the holidays we give out. There's a lot of group homes. What's the word? They're men's shelters and women's shelters with their children. And this year we did it a lot, and we went there. I personally went there with some volunteers and children, and gave it to other children. And then security takes it, and they have to disperse it. But one of the nicest things we were able to do in Terrytown, we closed down the street. First time ever, we ran out of presents for the first time. We had 700 presents.
Wow.
That Santa made, and the elves gave them, and we had 500 meals.
Incredible.
The meals went, all the presents went. Everybody knew about it. I was shocked because we never had that many people come, and this was the first year. So we learned our lesson for next year. Trust me, we're gonna have a lot. But we ran out. So then the next week was Osting. That's how I hurt myself. And we did Osting, and we didn't run out of presents. And we had more food. Taco Project came and gave their
Very nice.
free taco bowls.
Wow.
Chicken and beef.
That's beautiful.
Right?
Wow.
Everybody.
Beautiful.
That's great. We're running out of time. One last opportunity to give the phone number. And
Sure. The GullottaHouse.org and 914-525-0744. When you go to the website, it says, do you need help or ask for help? That's the best way. And I just want to say thank you so much for giving us the opportunity as a nonprofit to come on and talk about what we do, what we can do for the community. Maybe we can do things better, but we won't know that until people call us and people volunteer.
Right.
you should run for office.
No,
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
Gullotta House is my dream, and I'm in. So my daughter's a tattoo artist, Amelia Gullotta.
Okay.
Leah, inked by Leah. Inked by Leah. So I was against tattoos. My daughter's a tattoo artist. I wanted to bond with my daughter,
Right.
right? How do I bond with my daughter?
You did a tattoo.
I did a,
Oh.
So I'm
Please get
in.
the camera. I see. Gullotta House.
and I designed the
love
logo.
it.
I didn't let
Oh.
somebody else do it.
Oh, that's great.
And Irene is a Rotarian, and we sat, and it took about a day and a half.
That's
And I did the children,
fantastic.
all different shapes, sizes, and colors. And I wanted them to be like, "Hey, we're over here. Don't forget us." And so this is so special to me because
It's
we
very special.
we designed it, and
Oh,
I had
that's
my
fantastic.
daughter
Do it.
spend 5 hours doing this color tattoo.
That's great.
And as a father, and people
Right,
out there
right,
who have children, it's the coolest thing to see your daughter
Yeah.
light up.
Yeah.
And I can show this proudly.
Great.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been amazing.
Thank you,
Great.
Paul.
I'll say it.